Last week, I presented the 2026 email playbook on stage to a group of 7 to 9 figure e-commerce founders. I spent an hour walking through a presentation and doing Q&A, going over everything that I've learned after working with over 300 7 to 9 figure e-commerce brands and generating over $250 million from email at my agency, Wellcopy. The whole session got recorded and I shared everything that we use in our playbook for the brands that we work with. From acquisition and pop-up forms, to proper onboarding, to winning customers back after they've churned. Whether you're running a 10K a month store or a $10 million store, the information I went over is the exact stuff that we hear from brands every single week asking us about our services. So grab a notepad, stick with this from start to finish, and get ready to implement.
But actually taking in the real strategies that he just shared, that's like the real difference. That's stuff that actually drives traffic. One thing as well that I preach is a lot of times email marketing is just picking up, like when you use AI email marketing or shit email marketing, really all the revenue you're seeing are people who are already going to convert in base email systems or just converting the warmest leads. But how do we actually get the incremental people who are over the line? How do we get those people? And that's with these advanced strategies, the stuff that Jimmy shared, and then also tactical stuff that I'm going to share here. So tonight, this is the 2026 email flows playbook. That's what we're going over for context. I just happened to find out that I was speaking just the other day. So I put this all together yesterday. So there's going to be a lot of stuff here. I'm going to ask you guys questions. I'm going to make this a little bit interactive. So I'm going to share with you guys the exact strategies that we're using across all of our accounts to generate some pretty sexy results, not just in Klaviyo screenshots, but actual retention revenue and stuff that matters. So a little bit of numbers in background. Well, you guys probably don't know me, but my name is Max. So I'm 23 years old, ex-frat guy turned email marketer. Just graduated school 12 months ago. Started my agency from my dorm room when I was a freshman. And just all day, every day, I just started working in-house at a couple different brands freelancing. I was like, looked up how do I make money online after I lost a shit ton of money on NFTs. I was like, I need something sustainable. And then I came across Upwork, copywriting. And then one of my brands was like, hey, we need email marketing. I'm an expert email marketer. And then I was just hooked. And then I just got paid to figure it the fuck out. Started to build up my clients. And I was like, oh shit, I'm spending all day, every day in these accounts. I need to build up a team. So then started to build up a team. And now we have a lot of team members now. But a little bit by the numbers, so $250 million email revenue generated. We do about 30 to 50 million a month now, just through email SMS, Klaviyo attributed, or OmniSend attributed. So that's the numbers there. And then, so that number is actually probably way higher. I worked with personally over 300 brands. I've audited over 1,000 brands at this point, retention systems, all day, every day. That's all I do. Yesterday I worked literally 17 hours straight. It was just audits, and tons of team stuff. So I live and breathe this shit. I see a lot of numbers. We actively work with over 100 brands, managing their email, SMS, and subscription programs. We have access to a lot of data. And I didn't know I'm doing 5+ audits per week. We work with lots of 8-figure, 9-figure brands, and we get to see everything behind them. I get to see all the insides, and then I'm able to pass that to my team, and we're able to apply that. So that's what I'm going to be sharing is all these systems that we're seeing actually work today. Across hundreds of accounts of the fastest growing ones, Pharma, Nuconic, Happy Dad, Live Forever, Tea, Hope Hat, Nixon, Daisy, Bolt, Pour the Leather, all sorts of different brands that you guys see crush in the email systems that are behind that. What's working today? So it's going to get really tactical. And so, yeah, let's do it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say is focus on the high levers first. So Jimmy also talked about like some advanced stuff, but I also want us to realize that there's a few things that really drive the majority of revenue here. Like we can do these. I see a lot of brands who try to, like they come to us and they're like, yo, let's create these hyper-segmented customer journeys. Sorry, I'm talking fast. Let's slow down. I saw somebody do marketing, so slow down. I get a lot of brands who are like, we want to build hyper-segmented post-purchase cross-sell journeys for our 20 different SKUs that we have. We want a custom journey for each one of them. Look at their account. Their abandoned cart flow has one email. I'm like, what are we doing? Okay, like there are high levers here. And so before we do all this advanced stuff, we want to do the stuff that generates 80% of the amount of revenue. And so we always ask, are the basics dialed in first? Do we have the basics at a high level? That's what we want to do. And so the first thing that we want to do that every brand needs to have in 2026, if you don't have this, then you're wasting a lot of money. We want to optimize the living crap out of our pop-up form, get as many leads as we can off of our ad traffic, because you guys know it costs a shit ton of money to drive traffic to your website. So we want to optimize that. We want to be sending 3 to 4 email campaigns to our list minimum. With some brands, we send even 3 email campaigns per week if we're hyper, or 3 a day if we're hyper aggressive. But at least 3 to 4, that's what I recommend to stay top of mind. And that's engaged sends. That's not hyper segmented. I'm saying engaged list, 90-day engagement or 20 days, 3 to 4 per week. As Jimmy said, that's when I start to go segmented. Once we hit that quota of 3 to 4 email campaigns per week, now, okay, let's do our product interest segments. Let's do our RFN stuff. Let's do those sort of targeted sends. No business. You have a 100,000 person engaged list. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves is brands who are sending 4 emails per week, which is awesome, but only one of those sends goes to their engaged list. Their engaged list has 500,000 people, and these targeted sends only have 20,000 people. 100,000 person email send is going to make you a shit ton more money. Why are we not doing that every single time? And then we can layer on more advanced stuff. So consistently sending that. And then all of our base flows that I'm going to be talking about, 3 to 5 emails in each. That's where I found to be the sweet spot. Not just 1, 3 to 5. Frequency, it being in the right place at the right time, is probably more important than the messaging, in all honesty. I could send let's say I went to a website, Polygon's website, and I abandoned a cart. They could send me an email 30 minutes later that's just blank and just has return to cart. I'm going to buy from that. And so a lot of times, email is being in the right place at the right time. So that's why we need to make sure we have a frequency here. So 3 to 5 for all the base flows. That's welcome flow. I'll go through all of these, but welcome, site abandoned, browse abandoned, cart abandoned, checkout abandoned, post purchase, win back. Those are like the core that we have. So we have all that, and skip this for now. So I'm not going to be talking too much about this, but that's product specific, like cart abandonment splits. Make sure we have our base split set up, hyper targeted VIP sends, complex product interest segmentation. So that's just one thing that I wanted to start out with. It's focus on the high levers. Let's make the most amount of money with as little effort as possible first. All right.
Now, real quick, before I get into the next section of this video, I just want to show you guys WellTV. This is the retention analytics platform that I've kind of been showing throughout this video, but this is custom built by my team, exclusive for our clients. It tracks absolutely everything as far as retention analytics, things like time between orders, cohort breakdowns, cohort LTVs, snapshots, our repeat purchase rate, where our customers land, whether they're new, active, at risk, or churned, all the email and SMS analytics, and if you're a subscription brand, custom subscription analytics, and further insights. And even it has an AI chat where you can ask anything about your data and you will literally get a response from AI querying all your data and bringing you back accurate data pulls. If you want to see this on your brand, click the link below and book a strategy call with the link below, and we'll show you a bit about what the platform is and how we'd use it for you.
Now, oopsie. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to go over right here is the pop-ups, because I talked about that. It is your biggest lever. You can absolutely transform your results just by optimizing your pop-up form. More subscribers, more revenue. For most brands that we bring in, we get to 2.7x in list growth just by updating a stupid little pop-up. And I'm very excited that pop-ups have had a resurgence in the past year, where a lot more brands are taking them seriously just because they are super duper impactful. Oh, there's an ER5 website conversion rate. No, as long as you have a good pop-up. And I'm going to talk about this, that works. So the target that we like to shoot for is at minimum 10% opt-in rate. At minimum, we want 10%. But there's some brands where 10% is too low. So what this means is new site visitors who view your form. Sometimes 10% is too low. Sometimes we have a brand at like 16%. It's like, I think you should be high. But 10% plus is what we want to shoot for. Always be testing. All first of the biggest thing you test: timing, design, copy, every element we test. And then what works right now that we see work the best in terms of not just opt-in rates, but also getting conversions and contributing to the customer experience is using this quiz sort of pop-up, which I'm sure you guys have seen, hopefully. Highly recommend you set it up. Instead of just asking for somebody's email right off the bat, that's like asking somebody to marry you on the first date. You want to engage, you want to reel them in. So we ask them with the quiz question here. This gets super high engagement. Typically, you want to get around 40 to 50% of people who see this pop-up form will interact with this first step. That's what we want. A lot of people. That gets commitment out of something. Why do they fill it out at a high rate? It seems like custom to them. It's like, oh, shoot. Claim my discount. I'm going to be able to tell them my exact problem and see if this product works for me. So it's got that like customization bias where people are like, awesome. We've got the copy here that says you've got 10% off. That's a really good note. If you don't have that in copy form, how do you suggest it psychologically? Rather than saying, hey, get 10% off. Psychologically, it's like, I got to put in work to get 10% off. Say, you've got it. It's like, I already own it. And it's lost the version. You don't want to lose something that you have. So you're more likely to fill it out. And it's low barrier to entry. I've got to enter my email address. It's like, hey, 10% off. Just answer this question. Hell yeah. I click it. We get 40 to 50% of people who see it to click it. And then we ask for email. Now you've got commitment bias. Humans are much more likely to finish something that they've already started. And so now it's like, I've already waited this far. Let me enter my email. Enter the email. And then it's like, finish signing with text to activate. And it's like, shit. I got to enter my phone number. And then they fill it out. And then also, we're able to use that zero-party data within our flows to be able to get higher conversions. So straight by email, not buying your popcorn, so you get a shit ton of people into your list, and then also you get commitment out of people. Commitment. Humans bias towards, stores that they've committed to. If somebody's shopping around for shoes, they visit 4 different stores. One store, they ended up giving them the email address. The automatic default option in that person's head is one that they gave the email address to. And also, that brand's also going to be sending daily emails, so they're going to be top of mind, and they have much more chances to convert that customer. So that's pop-up forms. There are all sorts of different forms that you can't do. There's like gamified ones, like scratch to reveals, all that sort of stuff. Always off towards the quiz because we can get really strong zero-party data. You can even go even deeper and see what people convert the best based on which answer. Like for example, maybe the Black and Carter people convert at 50% higher rate of people who just say like dumb out or thing, right? So then we can tell our ads team that and be able to have more profitable customers. So that's also something that's super nice and great feedback for brands. So that's a pop-up form. We all clear there? Anybody got any questions on that? I'm happy to stop chat.
I have a question around this Plinko pop-up.
Yeah.
That was for like middle-aged women who want play games, or do you be a session for any custom your brands?
Dude, we see. I don't know if you guys know the Plinko, but it's like a little triangle. You drop the ball at the top, and it like doop, 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 and it lands on like a prize at the bottom. We see a crush. We see.
I'm an OG like spin away pack. I miss the wheel pack so much. Anytime I land on a website, see spin away, I get very motivated. Yeah. If we go, we just scratch and win.
Oh yeah.
Spin. What up? Does anybody else play with anything on like pop-ups that is pretty notable?
Those crush. The Plinko is great. It's really just degenerates. We find it work like really well for younger audiences, like younger male. Like we have a car brand where we were doing like a quiz, and then we implement the Plinko as the first step instead, and bro, like double the opt-in rate just as that first step, and it's just absolutely crazy.
Sure. Actually, a brand I used to work with that sold candles, and their pop-up was a candle that wasn't lit, and it said like the candles are discounts on this start page plus the flame going. So there wasn't actually any like games, but it was like light the candle and sense it.
So much fun stuff that you can do to contribute to the customer journey. Pop-ups don't need to be intrusive. It doesn't need to be discount. You can have the fun. You can make it part of it. But yeah, I see the Plinkos actually rip. They get really good opt-in rates. It's just about commitment. You can get people to engage. Psychologically, they commit, and you become that bias of that frame. So that's the way you should use that.
Last thing you should do. So we're going to active tests right now.
At Breezy.
Yeah. But majority of our traffic is so our page doesn't get most of our traffic.
Yeah.
So I would say like 60-70% of people at our site are not touching our actual home page, and so we're finding a better opt-in rate and revenue per visit or RPP. If you delay the pop-up by 10 seconds, or probably like 5 to 10 seconds, we're winning at a 10 second right now. We were winning in 5 seconds. So we'll see what after test. But popping up immediately on the and on page has it underperforming us consistently. You didn't pop up until like quarter scroll on the repeat traffic from Meta specifically. Anybody repeat traffic from Meta right now? How far did Rob is it? Yeah, probably. It's been a grind. And I think the next between how terrible traffic is. There's a guy going viral on board talking about
Yeah.
spam is like spam is high, but conversion rates down, the click-throughs are up because we think it's a lot of crazy traffic. I mean, very, 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 very concerned or aware of like you guys not split testing when the pop-up hits. You're gonna run into some trouble. I think it's like the most accurate thing that actually can do from an agency standpoint. There's a ton of agencies in here. The program, you like talking about the easiest way. That you're the one actually inspired me on how it is because the easiest, once again, quickest way as fast as possible. All those.
Well, I love it because I can do it day one with the client, and they're like, "Oh my god, you do it, let's go." It's such an easy win. Everybody fucks it up, but it's so quick and easy.
I think I know this. We just got triple click on the thing.
Triple click, yes. One other thing that I was going to say, but I forgot. So if they go, remember why you call.
What's your opinions on the placement of the XL button on top of us? Everyone always assumes top right, but how do you go about like removing it all together? You just things at the bottom, moving it up to the top left. So that's evil.
If you get it out of the top right button, you have ADAC lawsuit coming our way, and just make sure you have visible and we kind of buck on it. Like, see it louder. You get the ADA lawsuit right now, you get hit with them regardless, but like, you gotta make sure that your X is somewhat visible. I saw a company one time that was compliant at all. Like, you went to X, it ran away from you, ran to the other side, and then ran down. That was so good.
Well, maybe we do have to show it, but what I do, what we've seen, I do that almost. That's bad. But yeah, I mean, you get better conversions. You can remove the X completely, have a no next button down here, and then it gets our conversions obviously. So of course, that's like when somebody sees a pop-up, their thumb is already moved to the top right corner. It's just like you've been trained. It's just like you see a pop-up that you need to look at it. So if it's not there, of course you think about it. But what you can do is move it from the top right to the top left. And so then the thumb like does a double tick. You're like, ah, and then it kind of forces you to look at it. And also, it's annoying to have an X in the top left corner because if you think about your phone, this isn't my phone. This is all I have. I don't know where my phone is. But like, I put my phone in my right hand. There's an X in the top right hand. And so it's like a little bit more annoying. So they're much more like, it forces them to look at one. Maybe you got to bang your options for them. And so moving to the top left, we see that help. It's not like a double in conversion. You can get like a nice little 15 to 25% increase. But doing the no things, pay full price, and forcing them to do that better. It's aggressive. Hopefully, you don't get sued. But yeah, you can make it like top left. I haven't seen it lose typically.
You should help us for the letting agents follow this website.
Yep, absolutely. Anywhere we can get it. Anywhere we're driving traffic to. People will go to a website and leave, and you don't get anything off of them. And you have to pay for more ads to see them again. So if we can get a pop-up on that page, like absolutely. So we could do funnel specific pop-ups, and like Nick was saying right here, like if you have like a specific funnel for a specific persona, you can have a specific pop-up form when you're doing a page for testosterone outfit. One of the angles is to burn belly fat, pop-up specific to that or a specific offer. The landing page, yeah, absolutely.
What's your pro tip on teasers?
Teasers? I don't really have any like crazy sauce. There's not really any crazy sauce for it in my experience. Just I have the teaser when people close out, have it available, make sure it's not too intrusive. But there is extra sauce on re-sending the pop-up towards people after they close out of your pop-up. So yeah, so if somebody closes out of your main pop-up, 30 seconds later you fire a new pop-up. Maybe that person walks out now and back to work. Olia has a great feature for that as well. If you guys know that, but as far as the teasing, not too much. On the hot form, the biggest thing that you can't test if you're adding up our client, it's always going to be your offer, 10% off versus author off versus free gifts, whatever. Anything that has the biggest lever that you can pull out. I can't talk about that shortly. But I can literally talk about pop-ups all day. I love them because they're quick wins, easy, all that good stuff. But I'm going to have to flick here to the next one. And easy wins, I can see a lot of brands too. It depends. You have to make sure you look at the conversion data, not just opt-in rate. Doing a mystery discount, it's like 10% off. Frame it as a mystery discount, and then give them the 10% off after. And you can get people, but make sure you look at conversion rates. Do people actually convert, or just getting email list subscribers? I was optimistic yesterday. So we spent a lot of time there, but Now let's talk about the actual flows. We're gonna talk about the principles that results in high ROI. So these are like the standard, like across our company as we're building out all of our flows. Like these are like the things that we need to run through in all of our flows. First one, send every day, particularly in the pre-purchase flows. Post-purchase, replenishment, win back, longer term stuff, that's gonna be different. I do not want a welcome club where we're waiting 2 days, 3 days between emails. No, do not do that. If somebody clicks onto your app, opts into your email list, Meta knows, like if you're Breeze, for example, like Meta knows that person just clicked on a THC ad, some sort of something like that. And so it's going to start serving competitors. If I don't convert this person as fast as possible at the time of first purchase, they're going to go with the competitor. They're saying all sorts of other ads. So we need to send every single day. Abandoned cart, abandoned checkout. Send every single day. Please. All of our post-purchase flows, we want to do that. At the end, maybe you can do later ones, but we want to send every single day and be aggressive there. 2, segment by purchase history. This is the one segmentation where I think it's high ROI from the beginning in your flows. So I don't need to split too much by product unless it makes complete sense to do it. But like in our banding flows, split by buyers and non-buyers. A non-buyer, remind them of the welcome discount. That's a huge quick win that we're able to always have them. I'll talk about that in a second. Is for you who haven't bought it before, remind them, yo, you just signed up for 10% off. Your code's right here. So don't gotta go fishing for it again. It's an easy, quick win that you're able to do. Ideally, give this custom content as well.
Also, as a by the way, I have this paid community of 145 members monthly. It's private calls with me every Friday. There's an agency call for agency sauce and learning agencies every Tuesday. You get a full course, email marketing course. You get a shit ton of templates. You get monthly templates. You get all the call recordings. And you get community access with me where I share insights every single day. Here's Claude Design, a custom video on that, email analytics tool that we use, and then you have access to ask questions every single day, and you'll have myself and the team to also reach out. You have access to me in the DMs whenever you want as well. You should definitely check this out. Link is going to be in the description to join this community, and you'll get more information on these funnels that I post in there. All right, back to the video.
About if you're in a little bit more background. So segment purchase history, same for your post-purchase flows. Very, very useful. Use the plain text-based emails. I'm sure you guys hear a lot about that, so I won't talk about it too much. The emails that look like they're coming from a friend, plain text, dead simple. They just stand out in all the graphics, and they just make it super easy for the customer to see, but also usually have better deliverability. 4, we're going to be aggressive with our copy, which I'll walk you through some examples. You don't want to say, if somebody went to checkout and left, I hate seeing the, hey, you left this behind. Like, no, like that person was so close. You want to be like, yo, we got your order packed in the warehouse. Our team spent 2 hours putting together your order, and then you stopped. Like, what are you doing? Obviously not that aggressive, but we want to make it seem that, like, you pretty much already bought. And so we want to make it just like, be aggressive, make it seem like that. And so that's like one thing as well that we do see way better conversions on that. Be careful, you can get a little bit more complaints if you use like this, but it's just like your order's ready to ship. We'll talk about that in a second. That line absolutely crushes for us. And then for our dynamic flows, our dynamic product block goes as high up in the email as possible. You don't want to bury that. The higher up it is, the better. Because that person, imagine you just abandon an item and then in an email you see exactly what to abandon. Right? I've seen that just absolutely crush. So those are like the principles and like the non-negotiables that we want to make sure that we have across all of the flows. So now we're going to get into each flow. I have an example flow right after this, but this is like the typical framework. Of course, as I walk through this, everything's contextual. Every brand is different. I have some brands where we have 10 plus emails in the welcome flow. Like everything's contextual. This is just a starting point. And this is, probably what 75 to 80% of our brands we're doing. Just a starting point. Don't take everything too literally. But the welcome flow, obviously, somebody signs up from the pop-up form. We want to get the fit convert. First principle, if you want to send daily, we send 3 to 5 emails. At minimum 3, typically we're doing 5 for our brands. It's just daily. 1 email first day, 1 email second, third, fourth, fifth. We're starting to do a lot more 2 emails in the first day, potentially to 3, but just super simple, get like at least 4 or 5. The reason why we don't do something like 8 to 10 is because we see a massive fall off in conversion after day 4 of somebody signing up to the email list. Somebody doesn't buy within the first 4 days, it's really difficult to get them to buy. So if we have a 10 email welcome flow, that means we have to wait 10 days to start using urgency on our discount. And it just takes too long. So we like to have the urgency kind of on like day 4 to 5, where we're kind of losing that person. We can use that urgency. So that's why we like to have it there. And also, people are going to start receiving campaigns. They don't receive our first 4 emails. They don't buy it from the first 4 emails. Oh, fuck. They're just going into our campaigns. So we're going to have cool stuff and they can buy from that as well. So that's kind of our philosophy there. Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit about like the content that you're setting or
Sure.
repeated 5 days? Because
Absolutely.
like repetitive, or you got time to tell your story as much.
Absolutely. So are you saying like in comparison with doing just like one email or
like a 12-day series?
Perfect. Absolutely. I will walk through this. Here, let me just go through it. So here's like an example right here of like what that would look like. So as far as like content, I want to talk about like the conversion rate optimization and layout and everything. Or for example, email number 1, just super simple. What is our main selling point? A better way to wind down. This is essentially it's a beer replacement. It's like bottled water. And so summarize, what's our main point here? Person just signed up for a discount. Let's just leave it at that. Right in their face, also tells them that we have risk free. So summarizing our elevator pitch. And then the next one, how to use our product. Then the next one, testimonial. Then the next one, us versus send. Then we have a plain text-based email, and then we have a customer survey. So that's like how we split it right there. The thing is like, really, I found that it's more, you don't want to overwhelm the customer too much with so many different selling points and benefits. People usually buy your product, especially if it's consumable, for like one reason. It's why you see like Barsmen, for example, or IM8. They're a supplement brand that has a million different benefits. I might not buy IM8 or I'll use Marsman testosterone supplement. I'm not buying for all the benefits. Typically one specific pain point that really got me, and one specific ad where it's like, maybe you're having trouble with like stubborn belly fat, like that's an angle. It's usually one thing that gets you. All the other stuff is the bonuses. So I found just try not to overwhelm. But this is like kind of how we do the content. And we break it down point by point, one specific thing per email. We don't like to overwhelm. These are all of our benefits. It's just like, here's the one goal for this email. We want people to know what are the use cases. So there's that. And then it's like, okay, we want people to know that it works for people. People like it. So we cherry pick really good testimonials. Ones that we like, long form testimonials. Notice how it's not a testimonial that's like, this is super important. And one of my biggest pet peeves is just sending testimonials that are like, this was a great product. You should pick stupid ones. No, we want to actually find really good testimonials that have a story behind it that your customers sell for you. So you need to really pick out your big testimonials. And then this is one where we're actually showing the us versus them. The bottom of this got cut off. And so now it's like, okay, this person might be reviewing alternatives. So we leave it that. And we also mix in our urgency. And then we have a plain text-based email from the founder right here with a little bit of story, get emotional, coming from a friend. And then we had a survey. This is some extra sauce here where it's, hey, I noticed you didn't buy. This is great feedback. Just click this button and let us know why you didn't buy. And then you can actually get feedback from your customers on why they didn't buy. So like that's like an example they have. I'm not sure how well I answered your question, or what do you have off of that? Does that make?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just consolidating what we're doing already.
Yeah.
5 days.
Exactly, and that's the goal for it, essentially. It makes it much easier to test as well when you have less emails. That's also a reason that we do that. And then just like quicker to urgency is kind of like the main point.
This is obviously a very intentional journey. You want the new subscriber to just get branding go through this whole journey. What is your agency goal client strategy when someone just you block them from receiving any other flows at any campaign during that time, so you can make sure they're not receiving the testimonial that like the next day you're getting our new product, and the next day you're getting the next part of the journey that you want to receive. I've had the break that have done that and breaks that haven't done that. Here's like big successes on that. What's your take?
Yeah, we don't see any performance on results. I've looked at that. The only thing where you can get kind of pushback is unsubscribe rates. Somebody signs up to your email list. They're getting these emails of the welcome flow. They also happen to view a product and leave. So now they get the browse banded. And then also you had a big product launch where you're sending daily campaigns for. Somebody signs up to the list. They're getting 3 emails a day. And so like that's something where like you look at that, you look at the unsub rates. Typically what I like to do personally is if somebody like mark checkout abandons, you can exclude them from the welcome flow, and they'll just enter those. And exclude recent signups from campaigns, like first 5 to 7 days. That's something you can do. I don't do it all the time. It's just a little bit more contextual. It's usually more for grants that, I'm worried about unsubscribes, and it's an older demographic where I exclude them, but kind of just personal preference. If you're okay with oversending, like, go ahead. But completely up to you. But a lot of people will exclude through flows. The priority flows, checkout abandoned, cart abandoned, browse abandoned, not as much as the welcome flow, I'd say. And so kind of up to your preference.
So we have two categories. One's low cost, one's high cost. Low cost, 7% of the customers are purchasing within 7 days.
Yeah.
So 1 day workflow there makes a little sense. The higher price, I think it's about a month.
In that 75% range.
What do you sell?
We sell an extra fee price. Nice. So it's primarily to like jiu-jitsu athletes. And set ETs, people actually. So one is like the traditional artists that like stream in the office puts on.
Yeah.
The other one's like a horde awful or kind of related device therapy. So knowing that 3/4 of our purchases are coming within that 30-day time window, so just 7. Would you strategically space out the welcome series for this exception, or would you still have a 7-day welcome series, but there's just a offboarding early or handgates that are at least sexual?
Yeah, for sure. So I would still go with the daily sends for at least like the first 5 days. That's what I do, and just put people into campaigns. The welcome flow also, especially for products where it's a long decision cycle, like you need some time to buy. The purpose of the welcome flow is not always buy this right this second. It's also a priming mechanism where, because not everybody needs your product right now in this second, but our goal, customer has objections in their head. The welcome flow is also to address those objections to where they don't have any, to where they do eventually, a month or 2 down the line, they have a specific kind of need for your thing. You don't have objections that you overcome. They already used to know that. So it's a priming mechanism as well. So that's why we want to get in as much as possible while we have their information and then do that. So that's also just like one thing about the welcome flow. It's honestly what they find out. Let's overcome all their objections. And then once they have a super dire need, like the person gets neck injury, they already have all objections addressed and they trust us down the line. For me, how I treat it, I just like to do the first 7 days. And then after that, they go to campaigns. We're consistently sending 3 to 4 campaigns per week to our list, and somebody will just buy from that. So that's how I do it. If you want to automate it, hell yeah, you can. Typically, I don't find, it's worth too much time. It's just tough to, you got to think about it. You got to create all the creatives, and then you got to monitor it, all that sort of stuff. And I typically just prefer simplicity.
Because I know your business, I think the biggest thing here is whether they're a regular consumer or it's special communications. Like your segmentation for your first question should be like, are you providing services for equal chiropractic, physical therapy?
Yeah, I didn't talk about this, but I would just make that the pop-up question and second to based on that answer and get the customer.
Your journey thing up that you should somebody that's like whether you're athlete, whether you're a regular person that just like eager when you order, whether it's providing services, like your segmentation by person is so important for you guys because your price point's crazy, but it's not crazy to the person that's going to sell it or app. You make it right. Yeah. So I think you guys have a lot. Because you mentioned that, I'm just curious if you have on a pretty specific page, you'll have a person does so should there's you see utility tapping the questionnaire, or does your questionnaire get even more niche, or would you just go straight to email it? The segmentation on that page is
the function of the quiz is sometimes I don't have anything useful to ask the customer, but I still will do a quiz because of the increased engagement it gets. And so you get higher confidence. That's a bullshit question sometimes. Do you like this or this? If we don't know, we'll do just are you shopping for yourself or somebody else? That's a stupid question you ask for anything. And the goal is just get committed from them. And it just increases your email opt-ins because, again, most pop-up boards I look at are 5% opt-ins. A quiz question, you get at least 30% engagement rate on that first step. That person's fit, and then so usually it's a function of just getting more opt-ins.
And also, time directly to the customer that signed up for a possible city that you know where it is.
So that's like a bit on the creatives. Couple other things I want to point out. I'm going spending a lot of time here. I'm not sure how my arms are. All right, we'll keep going crazy. All right, but the other things that I want to mention, common mistakes that I see in welcome flows. So of course we said send daily. Remind of the discount in every welcome email. I don't know why there's so many welcome flows where there is not a discount. Like, why are you saying like email number 3 without a discount? That's just a regular campaign. Remind of the discount and remind at the fucking top of the email. Not everybody is scrolling. So put it in their face. Like, look right here, right at the top. Welcome tab. Slide there, reminder. Right here. You discount. Right here. Right in their face. Every single time. Now remind throughout the email. So see at the bottom, call to action. We'll also have reminded the discount. Makes no sense. Easy win. You're not doing that in every single email. In your welcome flow. Not sure why that happens so much. 3, you can have urgency. Not sure why I see so many welcome flows that don't have urgency, but add urgency. That's a question of, is a welcome 10. How do you add urgency to that? Just add urgency. You just be like, hey, your access, we can't hold this for you much longer. Just do it. It helps. One thing that you can do, and oftentimes we do, it typically adds a nice little bump, is make your welcome discount look random. You can use a dynamic code, like a Klaviyo always sends dynamic code how to generate. Or you could just create a static code that looks random, like, hi 47GHZ, so that you don't have to do like the dynamic. You can still have a full design email. It looks random, and then your urgency will go a lot on weight to like your custom code instead of that. That's not the case with this. Sometimes that doesn't work as well because people don't want to have to type the random stuff. For the welcome set, I typically find older demographics prefer just static, while younger demographics, they're a little bit savvy. And they know that like welcome 10, I can always come back to that. But if you use a custom one, it typically converts it, has more urgency behind it. Yeah.
What's the psychology behind this? We've seen that internally as well, but I don't really understand it. I'm just curious.
Yeah. So welcome 10, it's like I can always come back to that. Like welcome 10, that's available for everybody. It just gives the impression, it's welcome 10. You can find that anywhere. It's always live. So I don't need to buy now. So when we say like 10% off ends in 48 hours, customers like the code is welcome 10. But if you like your custom code hi-47G84G, like it's like shit, like I'm not gonna get this back. Yeah. So there's that. And then mix in text-based emails. Talk about it. They absolutely rip. They're our best performing emails across every account, pretty much. But this is one where it's from the founder. It's on day 5 right here. It's super friendly. It's like, hey, it's Jose here. I want to thank you so much for being here. I made offer. It was a personal thing. Just a reminder, I extended your welcome discount. Here's your last chance. So right here. And so always mix in text-based emails. We love to include that. Even if somebody doesn't buy from it, they get positive associations with the brand if they see like a real person reaching out. You get positive associations from it. And then this is a final one again, extra little sauce if you want to add this in. Hey, notice you didn't place an order yet. I just want to know why. And then you can tally those notes, get those numbers. Keep it segment based off of this. I find it's not needed because a good email like this, we get 5% click rates. It's like how many people are already really getting. So you don't really need a segment. I usually just use it as email. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on having text-based emails earlier in the flow?
Oh, love it. We have a lot of welcome email number ones for a lot of our grants. First email is a text-based email. Like we do that very often. Email number 2 as well. We often do banner stories, that sort of thing. We'll have that plain text-based email. People look at too. Love it. Just depends on the brand and their branding, their style. Typically, text-based emails work best for supplement brands in health, where your product results, do they happen? Maybe not, where it's just direct response. You have to convince people at the end state. But like fashion and like complex stuff like, a neck, strength of things, I gotta show visuals and whatnot. Things that graphic emails can do that text-based emails can't, is they can use infographics. They can show the product, the brands, like it's easier to read. And so that's like something some differences, but we have some welcome flows like full text space as well.
With the last point that getting the feedback, what do you like instruct the brand to do with that feedback? Is that they see your custom on how to get people to convert, but that feedback might be useful for their sport team, might be useful for their like internal strategies. How do you make sure that these are targeted ways?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, part of that's out of our control. So like this quiz question, it says out of be it right now. That tells us that we didn't have enough urgency. The next one is I'm not sure which ones to get. So that then we just tell the client that like, no, we can do a quiz or if thing. Too expensive. So that's gonna be a common one. That's all usually the most slick ones. I usually like to convince that one. But then the last one is like I'm not convinced on like taste. So like we can't do anything about that one. Besides we'll educate about that earlier in development. There's like a common objection that we get. Let's educate about that earlier on. But mostly it just goes as feedback back to the founder, back to the team, just be like, hey, this is what we're seeing. Reason people don't buy well.
Would you need to like specialized flows options so that's to say like that same investigation? So like I'm not sure I'll lay a top up the profile. I don't know the brick we talked about. That's familiar with that dish. So
for sure, absolutely. It's also just a question of is the juice worth the squeeze? Because a good sales brand gets 5,000 people to the welcome flow every single month. And a great email like this, I would be shocked if this has 5 or something like great. Whatever that map is, like how many people like I only did like tens of people, and it's like is my time better spent? Like the brand is sending only 2 campaigns a week, and to try to like add this custom flow based on maybe 100 people will enter this every single month. I'd rather send more campaigns. So it's like a question of this with the squeeze. In an ideal world, yes, set that up. You got time, do it, and just ratchet your own this up. But it's not something from the start probably where I would spend too much time.
There's one more superficial. So you're doing this fantastic, but keep going.
Yeah.
Great question.
When you do that text space for the founder and you change the sender name to like Max from XYZ, have you seen that change like deliverability at all?
Haven't seen it change deliverability. No. Have you?
I forget who I was talking to, but somebody was like, "Oh, be careful if you change the sender name because that might like change deliverability." But I've been doing that for like forever, and I've never seen any change.
I haven't seen it. The only thing, just like to be all the regulations, is you have to like say the brand name and it has to be clear that's known from the brand.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't mention that, I think Jimmy, you commented on a post that I made. It was like create yummies for Christmas. They get an email and something was Santa Claus. Yeah. It's just
technically illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you'll add problem there, but you definitely want to use something that's represented. It doesn't matter if it be Max from Creative Values and then you'd be Jonathan from Values or whatever it might be, as long as you're making sure it's a real representative or real marquee to the brand.
And if you change like the sender email too to make it look even more legit, like maybe
that starts getting a little that's where people really
okay.
You might get a false swipe, but you'll obviously sell down or below where you were.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Here's the question about
Do you worry about time of day for these emails?
I typically do not, because if I just set a 24-hour delay, say somebody opts into my email list at 9:30 a.m. They just proved, and I sent email 1 at 9:30 a.m. They just proved to me that they are on their phone in a buying mood at 9:30 a.m. So why would I try to guess and be like, we send our emails at 2 p.m. to welcome flow? That person might not be available at that time, but they literally signed up to the email list at 9:30 a.m. So I just like giving 24-hour delays. If I do a follow-up email where it's like, if I do email 1, it gets sent to that person at 9:30 because they signed up at 9:30. I'll do a 4-hour delay for email number 2. And then email number 3, I'll do a 20-hour delay. So then email 3 is at 9:30 a.m. the following day. I don't like to mess with that because also you'll run into problems where it'll skip a day for people, because say somebody signs up to the email list at 2 p.m. and you have a time delay of 1 day and you set the time to 11 a.m. So if I sign up to the email list at 2 p.m., it's going to wait 24 hours, and then it's 2 p.m. right now. So it'll go to the next filter and be like, all right, wait for 11 a.m. So then it'll wait another day. So my 1 day time delay turned into 2 day time delay for a time that I don't even know is proving to work for for this specific customer. So I don't like to personally.
It is a good question. A lot of like opting time to have a purchase.
So what I'm concerned with that is lots of people pay on emails right for their browsing. So shopping is very different than actually checking.
Yeah, 100%. Everything is contextual. That's just like my general rule of thumb. A lot of the shit I say here is going to be completely wrong for some brands. And it's like some brands, so like, this is just a starting point. Like what I'm saying is starting point, but of course, test on your own and every brand is different. So, I mean, that's a good theory. So it could be completely right, especially for specific brands. All right. Well, Lord have mercy. Let's see who comes. I love it. All right. I put all the abandonment flows on one slide, so we can hopefully keep this kind of moving. But we 4 different abandonment flows. Rare that every brand has on these abandonment flows. So make sure you have all of them. So we have the site abandoned. That's gonna be if somebody goes to the website because they don't view any products. They just go to the website. Maybe they click onto a landing page, whatever, a collection page. That's another abandonment flow you can view. Collection abandoned. Actually, they don't do it too much. But site abandoned. They don't view a product. They have the browse abandoned. Somebody actually physically clicks on a PDP page and they view a product, so they show some interest in that product. We have cart abandoned. So many brands miss out on this. That was a big thing 1 to 2 years ago. No brand has a cart abandoned flow. Now, a lot more brands have it now, but it's quite shocking how many do not have a cart abandoned flow. They think they do, and it's labeled cart abandoned. But the trick is actually checkout. So, and then you have checkout abandoned, which is somebody physically adds to cart. They click go to checkout, and they're at the page where they actually enter their credit card. So. Let's go into these abandonments. Site abandoned, less than 10, 1 to 2 emails here. Typically, when somebody goes to the website, maybe they're back on the website, they clicked on another ad, maybe, whatever, they went to a website, searched the rest. They didn't show too much intent. We just like to, give them specific, just like brand information and help them. Just like, hey, saw you're browsing, like, here's our different products, here's like different categories for different reasons. This would be, something like that where it's super general. It's just trying to get people back. 1 to 2 emails. We like to first email, have a graphic one and be like, hey, saw you're browsing. Do you have any issues? Here's some information. Here's some help. We'll follow it up the next day with a founder text-based email as well. Do I talk about this in the next slide? Yes, I do. No, I don't. But I talked about it before. But all of our abandonments, guys, all of them, we split at the top, like if somebody's bought from us before, and if they haven't bought from us before. So if somebody hasn't sourced site abandoned, we're gonna have the trigger up here, like when you build this app, your ESP trigger. This must be fingerprints on there. Sorry. The trigger up here, and then you're gonna split buyer path, 1 email, non-buyer path, 1 email, and then the follow-up email. And on the non-buyer path, for people who haven't bought from us before, I'm gonna remind them of the welcome discount. Easy, quick win. Don't make them go have to fish for it back in the welcome series, or they forgot they have a welcome discount. Remind them of that welcome discount, so like 20% off, whatever. Hey, you come back, plus reminder, plus we just reactivated your welcome discount, or plus you have your offer package. There's that. So make sure you do that for all of our abandonments. Ideally, take slightly different content as well. Somebody who hasn't bought from us before, you want to give different information. You can even go a step further. I'm talking about this, but you can give custom information. Somebody who has bought from before, it's all just a matter of time. At the very least, you could duplicate the email and just add the discount code at the top. Site bin, browse bin, somebody use a product in these. I don't have too much extra sauce besides use your best judgment. You know why people didn't convert for your product, so they view a different product. This is where it's like they didn't like the product well enough. Maybe it wasn't right for them. But just show the product up at the top of the email. Just right in their face, hey, you see something you liked. Offer a little bit of social proof and show other products in case, other recommendations in case they didn't like that product. And then we're always going to implement a text-based email in here, of course. We usually go graphic-based email, text-based email, graphic-based email, text-based email. So that's what we like to do. Cart and checkout bandit, very similar structures as well for browse bandit, but it's a little bit more convincing and social proof about the product. Somebody adds to cart, I'm not giving them recommended other items. That person showed interest in that item. I got to show them other stuff. Let's just go in on that. It's more about using urgency. They can be like, hey, you just bought. And so all of these split based on buyer and non-buyer. For the non-buyer section, reminder welcome discount. And then we usually enter a discount at email 3 and 4. So for the people who have bought from us before, at emails 3 and 4, we'll have a discount. And the people who haven't bought from us before, the first 2 emails, whenever they have the welcome discount, we'll have a raised discount at the end for emails 3 and 4. That's what we do. We don't want to show discount to past buyers right off the bat. Easy way to just reduce margins. We're going to enter that later on. So card checkout, very similar content. You could literally have the same card checkout event. Ideally, yes, slightly different. But if you're strapped on time, just duplicate them and change your dynamic sections. So a couple notes, just 2 rules for every single abandonment email. Dynamic product block at the top. Do not bury what the person left behind. Show them exactly what they left behind right in their goddamn face. First thing they should see is just like, oh my god, I literally just had this. I was just looking at this. That's what's going to get you to buy it. Number 2, again, be aggressive with coffee. You can see again, dynamic section right here. We use wording like your order is ready to ship. They can see like they already have it. If you get one thing from today is A/B test the subject line in your cart. You check out in email number 1. Guarantee you're going to make more money. A shit ton more. It's my favorite hack. I saw it like 3 years ago auditing an account, and I just like, it's my favorite thing. I day capped it for forever. But then one day I didn't know what to make a video about on Instagram. I was like, fuck it, I'll share it. And it just blew up, and now I see it in every account on it. And so I lost that, but it works really well, so now I'm sharing it. Little quick tip as well. Using a mystery discount, your cart abandoned, checkout abandoned. For some reason, that mechanism works really well because it's similar than using a mystery discount on a campaign. Because if I can say, we put a mystery discount in your cart is just already right there. It's like, for some reason, the psychology of like, actually got to click right here to reveal it. Where it's like, if you do your welcome glow as a mystery discount, the person's got to go to this site, they've got to pick a product, they've got to go to checkout to then reveal it. For cart and checkout, it's different. So typically, like every single A/B test we do this for, it's typically a double click rate, 50% to a double and click rate, and then place order rate, usually like 50% is kind of standard, but 10 brands as well. So those are the abandonments. Let me see if I have anything else on abandonments. Yeah, what's up?
So I feel like a lot of brands either have to make the decision of, do we supply, provide discount code and entry, but we'll use like value in the alcohol, or we're gonna get a subscriber through weeks of education. So DJ, and then we're gonna credit on discount. Do you typically do both strategies with your brands? And if so, does it feel like you don't have a lot of?
Could you say it one more time?
So like with your brands, are you typically offering a discount at the bomb series? Yeah. Or, acquisition of media, and then also the 15%, 20% in the pause on the whole card ban and checkout ban. Does that feel like you don't have a lot of like wriggle with it, what you can offer versus exclusively deciding for the discount strategy on the card ban and stuff, or go up?
For sure. I always recommend having an acquisition offer. It's the easiest lever that you can pull as a brand. Is have an acquisition offer, test the fuck out of your acquisition offer. Not just throw up 10% off. You should be testing 10% off versus $1 off versus different free gifts versus different bundles. That's the biggest lever that any brand can pull. You should be doing a lot of that. But that's the first thing I think that no matter what, you should absolutely opt in an acquisition funnel for the first purchase. So absolutely, that's bare minimum. I'd rather have that than have no discount. And it's really hard for me to get email leads and convert cool traffic with no offer, but then have discounts in my abandonments. I'd really rather have the acquisition. But that's why for abandonments, I don't do a discount right away to past buyers. Remember, the past buyers, they're not getting a discount right away. That's why I convert them full bars. They've already bought our product, and then they abandon it. They have some interest again. For the people who haven't bought from us before, we're just reminding the welcome discount, not giving an extra margin. And so we just remind the welcome discount to first couple emails, and then we raise the discount. So that's kind of like the thought process and how I do it. I like to have both. I think it's different. You make life a lot harder if you don't do that.
during promos, you just replace that with promotions that are quite wide, like Father's Day sale, Black Friday, stuff like that, or do you still have an exclusive type?
If it's a big sale, yes, it's a big sale. But oftentimes you just turn off the discount code that you have, and people will just automatically have the big site or the Royal Day discount live. For brands where we're for like recurring sort of brands, when we have sales, we up in the pop up to be around that sale and like core club emails as well, just to be around it and helps with conversions rather than give an extra 10% off while you might go more today sale. So we'll up it pop up people Memorial Day sale or job at your email. They don't need to answer your email. Post it, yeah. But card them in, not as much for adjusting that as much. So that's Bannon. All right. How much time do I have?
You're way over, but it's great. But it's great content. Like this is great. This is a correct conversation.
Beautiful. All right. Post-purchase flow. So this is what I would think for post-purchase. This is going to be completely different for subscription brands. If you're a subscription brand, it's going to be completely different. I almost did a presentation on subscription, but I didn't. But it's going to be similar for subscription. But this is the post-purchase flow. This is the sequence that I like to follow. And there are a couple of non-negotiables here. Post-purchase sequence. I think of it, it's not a sales first flow. I'd rather deliver a great experience rather than try to upsell, cross-sell, do some freaky shit. No, I'd rather educate and make them consume the product and enjoy the product. The best way to deliver retention is that people actually use your product. Consumable brands, you guys know, if you run subscription, biggest reason people cancel because they have too much of the product. So we just want to increase consumption. We want people to get value out of our product. So that's what we want to do. We want to set the relationship right. So immediately, I like the founder, text-based, thank you, Ecom. That's always just like one of my non-negotiables I like to do. Here's a perfect example. Look at this message right here from the founder. Thank you so much for your work. Immediately, but do not wait 30 minutes. Do not wait an hour. The person just bought. Let's email them. Thank you. Just want to personally say thank you. I understand your first order is more than just like provides deep and trust, especially when it comes to what you're putting in your body. When I saw that this brand was a corporate edition, it was me in my garage, obsessed with buying clean effective supplements. That's the director today. Now you're a part of that story. Happy you're with care. Can't wait for you to feel the difference. Oh my goodness. You just feel real nice about that. Just makes your insides warm. And then you got a PS upsell. PS is my favorite. It's also by far care. So you get so many, you get trust points, but also everybody reads PS sections. It's proven. Everybody reads PS. So that's where you get the upsell. But it doesn't seem like an upsell cross-sell. But this performs better than any upsell cross-sell that we'll do. So I highly recommend everybody like this if you don't. So I do the immediate founder thank you message. The personal, you could update that. You could get really freaky with your segmentation if you want to based off products. I just always start to cold myself. I always like to lower the barrier to entry. If you go out to set this super complex system up, you're gonna put it off for forever. I'm sure there are a lot of things on your guys' to-do list that you're not doing because it's so complex. You're like, I'm so scared to take this on. So I like to keep it as simple as possible for our base systems. Sorry, I'm calling you fast. But there's that. The thank you email. I do like to split by how many times the customer's bought. I'm not going to send a bitch one every single time the person buys from us. I see if they got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5th, we stop sending the thank you messages. Just like, appreciate you. Thanks for coming back. But usually 1, 2, 3, 4. So the immediate thank you message, phase 2 to 3, product education, how to use it, get results faster, whatever it is, faster usage, faster reorders, education, whatever you're to educate. It's going to depend. That would be like this one right here. 30-day cellular smile. So right here it talks through like the education of what your body sees, understanding silent inflammation. You might feel upon our bodies experience inflammation. Our product break up to overcome that. And I show some 30-day timeline of using the product. Make people feel good about it. It's like shit's actually going on. What's key here is you say silent inflammation. So it's like you might not feel it. And so it gets people to continue using our product so they don't just expect their life to change when they try the first product. It's like, here's the silent transformation going on. But you might not feel it, but this is what's going on behind the scenes. It'll get the listeners to keep consuming it. So product education, it's going to depend brand to brand, whatever it is. And then days toward the side of additional education or social, whatever it is, flexible based on brand. I just like to go hard on education inside the immediate upsell. And then day 10, that's when starting to receive their order. That's another excitement point, a dopamine point. That's where then I like a cross-sell upsell. You could fire this on the fulfilled order tag, wait like a day or something. That's our cross-sell upsell. I don't like to get too aggressive because again, we have campaigns going out 3 to 4 times per week. Usually set if somebody's bought within 7 to 14 days for exclusive campaigns, but people will naturally cross out upsell on campaigns. I see a lot of people get really freaky with their post-purchase journeys. It's like, bro, we're sending 3 to 4 email campaigns per week with new product releases, sales, product education. People will naturally cross out from that. So I don't like to get too crazy, except for of course where it makes sense. Depends on the brand. Upsell, cross-out was just like a gap box SKUs. Hey, there's a tonic for every moment. Here's our focus blend. Here's this. Here's this. Just to at least educate them so they become aware that we offer that. So that I do that. And I so excuse me. Sorry, I don't know what that was. But then we have the checking in on your experience, like a nice little check-in. I like to do that days 21 to 28 for a CDG grant. It's a nice little addition from a real person, from the founder. Checking out your experience. I hope you are well, keeping in good health. Comes from a real person. My name's Hirsch. I'm the vice president here at BlinkFresh. It's been nearly 3 weeks since you started your oral health journey. I want to personally follow up with seeing how you're doing. By now, your teeth should feel this. You should wake up with this. Most importantly, you should be experiencing from this. You probably tell we're not just about empty promises. This feels awesome. Feels like a really good, nice message, and it brings. It's we make it. Of course, we deliver a good experience, but also like this sells. So it's like, hey, check out some of our other products. If you need to restock, check in here. You build goodwill, and then you're like, by the way, buy. This performs better than any sort of re-up on your running low question mark. This will perform better than any of that sort of stuff. So we like to do that. So that's post-purchase flow that I'd like to deliver. I'm just gonna go straight into the with-back flow, just for sake of time. With-back flow, that is going to be long-term. Somebody bought months ago. How do you get them to come back? It's gonna be different for any brand, whatever the time delay is. For a supplement brand or the supplement brand, win-back might be at like say 90. For furniture brands, that's gonna be a lot longer. But I like to go for timing. Timing is gonna be the biggest one. Again, we have to think. These people are receiving 3 to 4 campaigns per week from us. And if they haven't fought it, what has gone on? You probably had new product drops. You've had sales. You've had banger campaigns, and somebody hasn't bought. Do you think a email campaign that says "We miss you" is gonna get them to buy? No. So that's where the only shit that works in my experience and with that is worth it is offers and offer testing. That's all that fucking matters. Just test your offers. That person has been receiving all these campaigns, so just test offers. It's the only thing that's going to get them back at this point. They haven't bought all this awesome stuff we've been doing in campaigns. And the other thing to test is timing, whatever the timing is. Typically, we start off at around 3 times the average repeat purchase length. So on average, people buy on day 45. We'll triple that. So 45, 90, 135. We'll trigger the win-back flow on roughly day 135. That's what we like to do. And then just test the fuck out of your offers. Like, don't just throw up 10% off, 15% off. Test it. Acquisition offers can be different than win-back offers. So a new customer, that offer that hits a new customer is going to be different than for old customers. So a lot of times the big phase of the brands is returning customer AOV is really big because usually you get a big first order AOV and then second is low. So that's where you like big bundles and whatnot as you offer win-back. But here's like, for example, what a really good win-back email is just with an offer that ended up working. 30% off just for you. Because your students will come back. You know, to where you like, we miss you, people buy from that. All they get fucked on is offer. It's a static code, but it looks custom to the customer. So you have that. And if you have not implemented this store credit email, do it. Best email ever. I now see it all the time when I audit accounts. And I'm taking the credit for this. This is the greatest email of all time. Greatest email of all time. At least credit for making it popular. But it's literally just a discount code. You say somebody has store credit, it's just a discount code. The psychology of it is just crazy good. If you say, you give a specific number, $17.62, $8.04. Whatever you want it to be. You make it look official, like, hey, account email, credited to account, expiration date. Hey, Max, you've got store credit, which is set to expire. Account, your email, and then use this code. We see it works best for win-back. We also build this at the end of our welcome flow often because it works so well. And it will send us as campaigns every so often. You grab that. Yeah, just a discount code in Shopify. But the psychology, instead of like, hey, get 30% off, it's like having credit in your account. It's just like if I don't spend it, I just threw away $17.63. It just looks so official. It's like, what did I do to earn this? It's like you earned it. The psychology of like, how in my account? I can't let it go waste. It's expiring. I'll never have this again. Rather than like 30% off. So that's what we like to do in people in that.
Well, with the minimum amount.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Exactly. And so you can have that. You can put that here, or you could just have it just set on the code for checkout. But yes, good point. Good reminder. Make sure that you have them in the order threshold, so they don't just spend $20. Yeah. Whatever. $2. He has to call it. So that's post-purchase journey.
I run post-purchase dual. You said that sequence differs pretty there for subscription. Is there this difference just the spacing like overall here?
No. I like to, with subscription brands, I like to be aggressive up front and then cool off. So I like to be daily emails for 7 days. Roughly, I like to go daily hard education. And then we'll kind of like cool off a little bit from them. And subscription, there's all sorts of fun stuff that you can do with subscription. But we're not going to do any upsells, cross-sells. I don't really like to do that in subscription. It's just really strong onboarding right off the bat and a lot more on consumption because you've won. You've won when you get into this subscribe. It's just about getting them to stay and extending their experience. And so for them, it's like I'm sending like 5 of these sorts of emails as much as I can. Be like, use the product every day. You're not going to see results for X amount of time. Like you need to take this product every single day or like consume it. We're gonna have a how we consume our products, like a tips for consumption. Like for example, we have a creatine brand who the biggest reason people cancel honestly is because people don't use the product. They just forget, they don't take their creatine, whatever. So people cancel their subscription. It's like, I got so much already. So the big thing is how we get people to consume it. And so we asked, so you can send a survey, for example, this is some extra sauce for you guys. Send a survey to everybody who's been subscribed to your product for 6+ months. Send them a survey and ask them a ton of questions. And ask, like for example, we did this. We found out that our customers who put their creatine in their coffee had the highest LTV. And that makes sense because you have coffee every single morning. You just put your creatine in it. That you won't forget every single day. Just put creatine in your coffee. So what do we now do in our onboarding flow? What do we do on ads? Put your creatine in your coffee, and then LTV just skyrockets. And so that's like the sort of site that we're putting in there. But they can be pretty similar. But we also like to include like a subscription, education, email on guys use subscription for all these reasons, all that sort of stuff. Subscription.
Oh yeah, my company actually has subscription and also regular a la carte, and a lot of subscribers also free fragrances on the site. In that case, when there are in a lot of posters as well, and then they buy again. That means that to another poster as well when we're offering a subscription on.
Yeah, that's gonna depend brand to brand. That's a little bit more like unique sort of case. I just like to look at cancels and how many cancels we're getting as results compared to upsells. So for that one, I just go to your dev to start. Should I exclude them from like the generic post purchase flow? I would definitely put priority on the subscription flow. My gut says use subscription flow. Don't let them do the post-purchase flow. Because for our one-time post-purchase flow, you have an exclusion of they don't have an active subscription. So like if somebody has an active subscription, they're not getting our one-time post-purchase flows. And so that's how I'll conflict exclude them. If you think it makes sense, then go ahead.
Have you had any success with any brand where you don't pay a discount offer?
In just like as a whole?
Like I have an acquisition, like pop-up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a little bit more difficult and it takes a little bit more time usually where you need to have a really unique product, but absolutely. We have multiple brands that absolutely crush with no discount. You just need to have some sort of unique point about you, whether it's your story, whether it's your product is really unique, a really strong brand. Usually that's what it takes. But a lot of times it's driven by like new products, for example, like, premium fashion brand for the app, absolutely no discounts. You can't ever discount it, but what carries their performance and retention is their like new product releases that are always coming out. That's how they're able to that's their selling point. It makes it a little bit difficult for new brands to start out if you don't do discounts. I mean, you can look at look at any of Promosi's stuff. Offer is everything. You don't necessarily need, that doesn't mean give up margins. That doesn't mean, hey, give a 90% off discounts. Just framing. How do you frame your offer? What's your positioning? It's, do you get it X% off, or do you give all these bonuses? Do you give these upsells? That sort of stuff. Is that right?
Aggregators, bundles,
Exactly.
bonuses, right? And it's just positioning, right? Discounts are just, I'm getting more value from paying. How can you position that? You don't want to do frame for the discount. You start thinking about, how can I give you something for free and a digital download? Anything you can do, just incentivize like that. That's all we're from that.
We had a brand. They sell $2,000 office chairs. No discounts. We're not discounting. Nope, we're not doing any of that. I was like, okay, well, how can I make this offer enticing? The whole brand's just like, hey, buy our office chair. It's really nice. Leave the website, and we'll ask them. And I was like, okay, what do you guys? Because it was like, this isn't a really strong offer. Like, it's a really nice chair. But like, how can we make this a little bit more sexy than just a fire cool chair? Here's like a science behind it. I was like, okay, if somebody buys, like, what do they get? Walk me through the journey. They're like, oh, they get a free consultation call with one of our experts. They get this ebook. They get this course. They get access to this clinician. It comes with free 2-day shipping. It's a 2-year warranty. It's like, oh my goodness, why are we not advertising this? You just gave like X amount of dollars of free value. You're giving free 2-day shipping. Let's leave without a front end. And they implemented that. They've been ripping. So we actually adjusted like pop-up offer to be around like, hey, you've got free shipping and these free gifts on your first order valued at X amount of dollars. We didn't give any extra discount or anything like that. Worked really well. And trust for them, they now advertise that in their ads. They were giving all that away, but they just weren't telling people. So a lot of time in positioning there, that's like more for brands. There's also something to be said about like, you don't want to discount for branding, the luxury. Maybe they wouldn't want to do that. Everything that I said, there's always clever ways with positioning and wording. All I know is that the framing is the biggest lever that you can pull. Your front end framing, offer stack, your value perception. That's the biggest. That doesn't mean discount.
All right, one more question. Yeah,
Have you seen success sending more unpurchased branded state, especially when it's not like a daily consumption for an impulse?
Yeah.
A lot of supplements, not a daily skincare.
Yeah, so getting one-time purchasers to subscribe. Yeah, that's the strongest cohort, highest LTV cohort you will have as a brand. It's the people who place a one-time order and they come back to subscribe. You look at LTV on subscription first versus just one-time order placers versus one-time order people who turn to subscription. Those people, highest LTV. And so that's really important to, in your post-purchase journey and your replenishment journey, is to hit people who place a one-time order and get them to subscribe. So you want to make sure that they know that, hey, if you give an extra discount and you subscribe, maybe give them something juicy, just to get them to subscribe, because that's kind of your highest LTV cohort. Last thing is just what's an A/B test? Offers. You can test nothing else besides offers, and that's it. It's the biggest thing that you can do. Biggest breakthroughs that we ever get by offer testing. You cannot conversion rate optimize your way to a double in revenue, but you can have an offer test double your reps and double your profit. Not joke. That doesn't mean give bigger discount. That means different framing that I explained. That means different free gifts. That means different bundles. That means dollars. That means percent. You cannot adjust little words in copy. You won't have a send time test result in 2x down money, but an offer test and conditioning test can. Subject lines are actually great for revenue. I don't give a fuck about open rates. I do not give a fuck as long as we're about 50%. Like everybody likes subject lines for open rates. I don't give a fuck about open rates. If I have a subject line that gets me more revenue, higher placed order rate, because it has a different positioning or different angle, it changes the frame in which the customer opens the email. So I don't give a fuck about that. I care about revenue. Your order is ready to ship. That opens line doubles revenue compared to forgetting something subject line. It's different framing where the customer opens the email with. It's like forgetting something versus like, oh shit. Email format, graphic versus text, and then send timing, yes. But the big ones that I care about, offers and subject lines, just because they're super easy to do at scale. It's just like static ads, easy to do at scale, subject line tests, and send timing, email format. Follow me on Instagram if you don't already. That's where you can find me, where I share all this sort of stuff. Hey, you guys, that was one.